Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us and welcome to Automation Secrets for Fundraising. Just before we get started, we'll just quickly introduce ourselves from the CiviPlus team. My name is Louise Melzack and I'm the Chief Growth Officer. So I'm working with all of our prospective clients and some of our existing clients to really just understand your needs and make sure that we've got the right digital solution to help you, achieve everything that you want to. My background is actually as a fundraiser. I worked for charities for many years and I've used lots of different CRMs. And I really know the difference between, when you do have a powerful and easy to use one, the world of difference it can make. So I'm really looking forward to talking through some of the secrets today. And I'm going to hand over now to Jack.
Yeah, cheers, Louise. Hi, everyone. So I'm Jack, the account manager / partner manager at Compuco, and I work with all of the charities we support from kind of first point of contact through to their project end. So helping collect all requirements and facilitating internally to get the right people on the right projects to deliver a successful one. And then I'll hand over to Alex.
And I'm Alex. I'm the marketing manager here. And yeah, I manage lots of the webinars, the comms, lots of different things here at CiviPlus. So back over to Louise.
Thank you. Okay, so we've got a very short, sharp agenda for today. Why automation is great, the secrets, our top tips, and then we'll have time for some Q&A at the end, hopefully. Okay, so let's just start off and do just a bit of a general introduction about why actually we think automation is great. No, I'm not. Before I do that, I've forgotten to do the poll, haven't I, Alex?
Yes.
Let's do the poll first so we know who, it's good to understand the audience that we've got here today. So there's a couple of questions here that we'd just like to ask, which is about understanding what database you currently use. So we know how many Civi people we're talking to and not, but this webinar is for any CRM users, automation is an amazing, help. That you can set up on in different ways on different CRMs, but our focus will be on Civi. We want to know how confident you feel in using automation, what's people's feelings towards automation. Maybe you're already very expert at it, and also just curious how you heard about our webinar. So I think, has everyone filled that in? No, still a few more to go, or give it like 10 more seconds. Okay.
Thank
you for that. Okay, so let's just share the results here. Well, we've got 100% Civi CRM users. Yeah, that's interesting. Mixture of attitudes towards automation, so that's good. Hopefully those who are a bit uncertain or new to automation will come away from this feeling different. And everybody heard about us from our email, so that's fantastic. Okay, great. All right, so now we will get going. Okay, so why automation is great. So just to start us off, one of the reasons automation is fantastic is because it can really save your team time, and we've looked at some research and studies, and it can be between 11 to 30% of time saved just by setting up some simple automations. Oops, I went the wrong way there. Saving your donor time. Now that's really important as well. So generally when people are, doing things online, 73% say that valuing time is a top priority for any online service. So of course, that will also include making any online donations or signing up to events or anything that you can, a service you're providing to a donor online. Saving money. Well, you can save between 11 and 30% financially, because obviously the time that you're not spending doing lots of manual tasks can be better spent elsewhere. And also saving brain power, which really gives you headspace to do other things that could be more important and more beneficial to your organization, instead of worrying about, again, doing lots of manual tasks that could be automated. And it can bring in money. So why is automation so great? Well, you can let your database fundraise for you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how we can do that as we go through. So, but why are people wary of automation? And there are obviously a few people here that are not so familiar yet. And some of the common things that we hear from people is that they're worried that they'll have no control. There's also a slight worry that their role, would become, obsolete because everything they do is so manual. It could be too complicated, just to set it up. It's just not worth the hassle of setting up. It seems complicated. And people feel that it can lack a human touch. You don't want to feel like there's a robot or something, really, really generic communicating with their donors. And so we're going to touch on a few of these things as we go through. But before we do that, why is it actually better than you think? Well, to start off with, it can really increase accuracy. Human error is a massive risk. There's 18 to 40% chance of data entry issues when filling in a simple spreadsheet. I mean, you can see here, we've all been there before. We've got this massive spreadsheet and, you do something, you change one thing and then there's a big error sign that comes up and you've got to figure out why. And this risk rises to 100% for complex spreadsheets. If you keep tracking all your donor information in a spreadsheet or something like this, you're just increasing your chance for error. So automation in certain areas really just removes the risk of any mistakes. Also, you can increase personalization. So one of the things we just mentioned as a concern was about it lacking the human touch. But actually, by using tokens or merge tags, as you might, know them, tokens, we call them tokens in CiviCRM, which can be things like your first name, your, location type, all of these things, you put them into a communication and it adds a bit of personalization. And this you can do en masse. So as I said, you can insert the name of the donor, the donation type, maybe there's a specific campaign or project that the donation is for. And because you can do this en masse, you're actually able to increase personalization at many levels just by adding multiple merge tags or tokens in. So that's the introduction to, why we think automation can be great, just some of the reasons. And let's dig in a little bit more to what we are calling the secrets. So the areas that we're going to cover today in terms of what in fundraising are online donations, collecting and chasing pledges, always a fun one, renewals, lapsed donors, and personalization in a little bit more detail. So let's start off with online donations. Now, online donations are great. Everyone has, mostly been set up to do online donations. But if you can have your online donation form linked to your CRM, then that's going to make a world of difference to you, because then it means it can automatically check if a donor already has a record and is already in your system. And if they can match it, it can basically check certain criteria and match it, and then it can add the new donation automatically to their record. And if it can't find someone in your system, it can automatically create a new contact record and then add the donation to that, taking out a lot of manual searching and adding of new contacts. It can also record if someone is giving to a specific campaign or a project. So on your donation form, you would link the donation to that project and it would put it into the CRM for you so you can track it easily. And it can also send out an automatic thank you email to the donor straight away. It can also even alert a fundraiser that a donation has been made, which is always quite fun that you get a ping every time a donation comes in, depending on the type of organization and how often donations come in. Might be quite annoying if you're getting a lot a day. But also great if you're getting a lot a day. So collecting pledges. So pledges are great. Pledges are made at events. They could be made by doing telephone fundraising, any other way that a pledge might come in. So what you'll do is you'll record the pledge on your system, on your CRM, and then you can send out an email through the CRM with a link to donate. So again, it's making that automation of basically bringing in that donation and recording it straight into the system. The payment will be logged in the CRM when it's made. And again, you can be notified if you want to. And that automatic email will get sent out. And it just makes that whole thing much smoother. You don't have to check if it's in one place and then add it into the CRM. It's all linked together. Now, chasing pledges is a time-honored tradition in the fundraising world. It's fantastic when people make a pledge, but then they actually need to honor it. So you'd send out that first email asking them to make the payment for their pledge. But if they don't, you can set up an automatic reminder email after 1 month to go out to remind them to pay. And then you can also have a rule set up that if they still haven't paid after 1 month, another email can go out after 2 months. It could even be set up to go out every single day until they pay. But basically, you don't have to keep an eye on this. This will automatically be running, throughout the year, just chasing people, to honor those pledges. And, after a while, that might be a bit much, and email is not the right way. So if there's still no payment after a certain number of emails, the system can automatically create a task and assign it to a fundraiser for them to call up that donor and chase them by the phone. So again, you're not having to think about this. The task can be automatically assigned to you. But if as a fundraising manager or generally someone who's looking after a number of donors themselves would like to see kind of where things are and where the status is, there can be a monthly mailing report, for example, that can be automatically sent out to fundraisers with the list of everyone who is outstanding and how many communications that they've had. So they can really get this clear overview of what's going on. And again, if it's sent out monthly, that's a bit of automation that can happen to make things just easy and to hand straight away. And you can see at the bottom here is an example of like this automatic email that can go out, and you've got that token of contact first name put in there. So they get that personalization, and the email that comes from the system can be set to come from, you as their dedicated fundraiser. So it comes from Louise at CiviPlus. So it will feel like a personalized communication. Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about ensuring renewals and repeat donations, which is really, key to so many organizations. So automatic emails can go out for annual or repeat donation requests. So there are people who will give every year to your organization, which is fantastic, and you want to encourage people to give every year. And you can set out emails to go out, for example, if no donation has been made after X number of months from the last donation. So you want to capture them in your financial year. I remember this as well. It would be like, for them, they might donate in the next financial year. It doesn't mean much to them if it's April or May, but to you, it makes a big difference. So this will help capture those people and help make it easier for you to not have to worry about chasing them. The system will do it for you. So here's an example again of using these tokens. This time last year, you kindly donated this amount. We'd be grateful if you'd consider donating again. And you can even go one step further and be project specific. So if they've donated at a specific event or to a specific type of project, you can again use a token to reference that project, and it will just make it feel even more personalized and help engage with them more because it's something that they've already donated to. And so hopefully they'll be interested in donating again. Automating payments for your donors. So converting pledges or donations into direct debit basically guarantees you automatic ongoing renewals, which is the dream. So first of all, having opportunities for your donors to set up direct debit is the starting point. Having that availability within your CRM to record and collect direct debits on a monthly basis is the starting point. But if you've got donors who are already on your database, who are giving small amounts, or those who have never donated, but they're on your mailing list, you could send out regular tailored engagement newsletters with a focus on encouraging a monthly donation with a direct debit link. So engaging people with the information about your organization and what you're doing, but really focusing on that monthly direct debit link. And you can also use it as an opportunity to increase donations. And this is where we talk about how your database can fundraise for you. So, on your website or in any newsletter environment, you can have the option, donate £50 or donate £5 a month, and encourage that direct debit to be set up. But as we all know, £60 is more than £50. But psychologically, it might be easier for your donors to digest and think about it in an easy way. And again, using your database to do this for you. You've previously, putting it all together, you've previously donated £50 to this particular project. We'd be grateful if you consider donating £5 a month by direct debit and including the link. And then, of course, a little bit of an explanation about what that £5 a month can do is always important. But yeah, setting up direct debits, we feel, especially at the lower end of your donors, it can really, really make a difference. And it's a way to get donors to increase their donation without them feeling like it's a big ask for an increase. So let's talk a little bit now about nurturing renewals and repeat donations in a slightly different angle. And this is about regular bespoke communications. So if you're able to send and create regular newsletters, that is fantastic. But if you're able to use segmentation and tailor the content to different types of donors, that will be even better. So again, using your CRM, you can group people and send out newsletters that might be project specific. They might be interest specific if you've been able to capture the interests of your donors, or looked at what events they've been to. It can also be tailored to the donation size, and that's a really great way to do this. And again, using your CRM to just it just will group people together. You create a group or a search of people who give between this amount and this amount, and then you create the newsletter for them and send that out, because there is a big difference between donors who are giving £5 and £10 and donors who are giving, £50,000. You might want to have a slightly different communication for them. You can even tailor it to the location as well. Use your CRM to search for your donors or your supporters by geographic location. And then again, tailoring the communication to engage with things that are going on locally to them in their area. If you are only a local charity, then obviously that's less relevant, because everything is relevant. But if you are a national or global charity, you might want to think about tailoring that communication to certain geographical areas. And then you can also use your CRM to help you with thoughtful engagement, especially for your major donors. So you can set tasks to ensure regular engagement after a donation's been made, and that could be auto-generated. So when you put in a donation above a certain amount, a task can be auto-generated and assigned to a fundraiser to arrange a phone call or set up a meeting 6 months after the donation is made to make sure you keep them engaged and feeling the love from your organization and up to date with how their donation is really helping your organization. So here's a little bit at the side. Where, as an example, on a CRM, you have your past activities and you'll have future activities lined up, so you know that's coming and you can keep track of that. And then we're just going to touch a little bit on making personalization a bit easier. So a lot of things we've been talking about, providing donors with tailored content. So using the CRM, you can group them based on events they attend, campaigns they support. Maybe if you're a volunteering-led organization, it could be the type of volunteering that they do. They might want to hear more about that. But also, what is great is asking your supporters what they care about. And you can use your CRM to send out surveys, and using web forms, record their responses and store them against their contact record on the system. So you can send out a survey on a regular basis, automatically if you want. You could also set up a survey to go out maybe 1 month after someone's made their first donation, or 1 year after someone's made their first donation, and collect their interests and ask them what they want to hear about. And then you can tailor the content, the communications, the event to them specifically. So here was an example of, if you're an education charity, you might ask people what you want to hear the most about, have these different areas, get them to tick them, and that will be then stored against their contact record. And then here's another little bit of automation we can talk about, is about searching and segmenting these people into groups so that you can send them targeted campaigns and relevant information and project updates. But the way to do this that's automated is to create dynamic smart groups. So a smart group is where you set your criteria. So it might be someone who's made a donation of up to this amount, who is based in this country, and who said they're interested in scholarships. And then, or anybody who fits into that criteria will be in that group. And if you have a new donor coming in that fits that criteria, the system will automatically pull them into that group. And it may be that there's people who also are changing criteria. So maybe someone gave £100,000 donation last year, but they're in the major donor group, but they didn't give one this year. And you only want to invite people to an event this year who have given, maybe it's a patrons dinner or something. So if they haven't and they don't fit the criteria anymore, the system will automatically remove them from that smart group. So again, you don't have to go back checking everything and pulling lists together and consolidating all. These dynamic smart groups are a fantastic bit of automation that can really help with your personalization. So let's talk a little bit about lapsed donors now. Everyone's, I don't know, there were a certain few lapsed donors that you just want to bring them back. But unfortunately, you don't have time and energy probably to really focus on everybody, or focus on the key ones that you think you've got a chance with and that you've got the most chance to get the most donation from. But it is a real shame when donors who've supported you for a number of years suddenly drop off, and you really want to try and bring them back and re-engage with them. So automation can really help you do this at scale. So you can basically set up an automatic email to go out after maybe 3 years since someone's made a donation. Like, what is considered lapsed in your organization? Obviously, different organizations will have different criteria for this, but for example, 3 years since their last donation. And then again, you can combine that email with if you've got interest tags on them, or if you know about their location. And again, you can set that email to fit certain criteria and then send out to certain people automatically, in the hopes that if you're sending out, regular specific targeted messages, you can re-engage them and bring them back, but with a minimal amount of effort for you as a fundraiser. So you can also really focus on also bringing in new donors and creating, even more other things for your organization with the time that you've got, not having to do all of this stuff that can be automated. And we're just going to wrap up with a few bonus features. So gift aid declarations for those in the UK. These can be filled in online, again, using a web form, and then stored against the donor record. So that is, again, a nice bit of automation that can just happen, and then it's right there next to your donor record, and it's already in for you. Obviously, I realize we have quite a few international people with us today. So here's one for everyone: celebrations. So if you can gather people's date of birth or year of birth, no, date of birth you need, not year of birth, at least date of birth, you can send out automatic happy birthday emails to your supporters to show that you care, and also to keep your charity in the forefront of their minds. And you can go one step further and even send out automatic happy anniversary emails, maybe for volunteers, long-standing volunteers, committee members after 1 year, 2 years, 3 years of service, and even your staff as well. It's really nice to acknowledge staff that have been with you for a long time. And again, it's something very simple and easy that the system can do for you, and it will bring a smile to people's faces, and most importantly, put your charity at the forefront of their minds as they're reading that communication, and make them feel personalized, engaged, and wanting to continue to support you even more. So to conclude and summarize, linking online donations directly to your CRM, so you don't need to manually add new contacts or manually add a new donation to your CRM. Automating emails for outstanding pledges. That chasing of outstanding pledges doesn't need to be done manually. It can really be set up to go out and still feel personalized. Using tokens to personalize your donor's experience. So again, that you have total control, there's less area for risk, and you can really add a lot of personalization at scale without it taking you lots and lots of time. promoting direct debits that we've talked about, which, you know, as the ongoing renewal forever, and also using those direct debits as a way to potentially increase donations, and tailoring content to your donors' interest area. So gathering the information about your donors and then creating those smart groups, those dynamic groups that will automatically update. So when you create your content, it's very easy to know exactly who to send it to. And finally, celebrating together. I think anything you can do to put a smile on someone's face will just automatically make them feel great about your organization and want to engage with you even more. So I think I'm going to take a pause for now. And I'm going to hand over to Jack, who's going to talk to you a little bit about CiviPlus.
Cheers, Louise. So yeah, conscious a lot of you guys are aware of CiviPlus because I've spoke to a lot of you here before, but just wanted to introduce it to those that haven't. So CiviPlus is a dedicated not-for-profit CRM. It's very powerful, easy to use, and most importantly, cost-effective. And Louise has touched on a lot of crucial points with fundraising specifically today, but it is all in one for membership, activity management, volunteer management, and fundraising. And I'll talk you through some of the key features on the next slide now. So again, Louise has touched on a few of these. So managing contacts, that could be managing donors, members, volunteers, staff, any contact or organization that you store within your CRM, you can manage it through CiviPlus. You can also take payments and automate payments as well, because that could be sort of direct debit, recurring payments, one-off membership dues, stuff like that. You can track all your fundraising opportunities. So CiviPlus has a really nice and comprehensive case management dashboard built into the platform, which hopefully we can show you on another demonstration. We also have membership management. So any different type of membership that organizations offer out, they can manage that all through the platform as well and take the payments, of course, with that. It also does events, CPD, and conferences as well. So conscious that people run online events, in-person events, they can all be handled through CiviPlus also. It's got a really nice drag and drop builder. So all of those crucial fundraising emails that you want to send out to donors, you can actually build those and customize those within the platform and use those nice marketing segments that Louise mentioned on today's call. There's case management. There's task dashboard. So if you have activities to follow up with donors, maybe next week, or you can maybe delegate an activity to someone within your team if you're off, you can do that. There's reporting and analytics. So you can run reports on, like Louise mentioned, major donors, membership, volunteers and activities and stuff like that. Surveys and petitions for constantly getting feedback on how to improve the donor experience, perhaps. You can manage all your volunteers. You can track your applicants, and so that could be grant management, awards, certificates, and there's also a really nice self-service portal, which I'll be happy to talk you all through if that was of interest as well. And there's some videos on our YouTube channel that you can check out that goes into that a little bit more. This is kind of a first look of a contact record. So this could be a donor record within CiviPlus. So you can see along the left, you've got all the different tabs and pieces of information that are captured on this particular contact, which is Tony Stark. He's a very generous major donor of ours. And along the summary page, you've got a number of different fields, and you can collect different bits of information on this particular donor. And you can customize the full look and feel of the summary page as well and add some custom fields if you wish to. Then on to the last slide.
Sorry.
Yeah, so just to kind of close off, me and Louise would love to speak to people that we're not already speaking to in terms of CiviPlus. Love to have a one-to-one call with you, find out a little bit more about your organization, what you do to support people, members, donors, and potentially see if CiviPlus would be a good fit. And I can obviously reach out off the back of this call. You can book in a one-to-one call as well, and we can do some personalized demo if you want to find out a bit more. And then if there's any questions, we're happy to hang around for a little bit and take some questions from Q&A, or you can pop them in the chat. It's completely up to you.
Thank you, Jack. Yes, so we will be sending a video round of this webinar as well tomorrow. That will also have our contact details there. And just before we go, just to let you know what the next webinar will be. So might not be relevant so much for you, all of you right now up front. Sorry, I'm just losing my words. The power of membership portals, about engaging, retaining, and connecting with your audience. So as we said, CiviPlus is for charities, membership organizations. It can be arts government, any kind of non-profit organization, and a portal where you can have a place for your supporters to have a space where they can update their own profile and information and find out different things about your organization in a really personalized way. It's particularly powerful for membership organizations, but it can also be really interesting for charities who've maybe got volunteers, committee members, and people who might get a lot of benefit out of having a portal experience associated with the organization, to have that little bit of more contact in a slightly more personalized way. So if that is even if it is of interest to any of you, please do join us, or please do pass it on to anyone else in your team or sister organizations that might be might like to join us. I'm so sorry, I've just lost all my words, so I'm going to stop talking now and ask if there are any questions at all.
See Tracy popped on in the chat. When you mention integrating with the WordPress website, Tracy, what do you mean? Is that in terms of forms or portal? Can you just expand a little bit, if you wouldn't mind? Yeah, booking form. So the way CiviPlus works is within the so we've actually got a number of clients that are using WordPress at the moment. So how it would work for events, donations, membership sign-up forms, all that sort of stuff, is we would use CiviPlus to spin up forms, which would have, for example, ADHD Embrace logos, colors, fonts on there, and it would just link to the WordPress site. So it would have donate now, for example, or book now, and it would kick the member or donor to adhdembrace.civiplus.net, where they can fill in all the information. So it's just basically copying a URL in terms of the button within the WordPress site. And you can do that for other bits.
You can certainly do things around forms. You know, we use them on our own site. So,
and I do know we're currently looking at integrating some of these forms for embedding that, but that's coming further down the line with CiviPlus.
Yes, yeah.
Yes, but it's exactly the way that you would have booked this webinar through our website and then going through to our Civi. So yes, it's exactly that functionality. Any other questions at all?
Can I just ask a quick one?
Sure.
Please. Yeah, just I'm coming on board from an agency perspective of, with partnership. So I've been chatting to Jack, and obviously a lot of my clients are these conservation NGOs. So I have one client who's signed up. And I obviously haven't actually delved into CiviPlus yet. I'm nearly signed up to it. I need to just agree some final things with Jack. But everything that you described there, Louise, all of the aspects of what you suggest, like the pledges and such, like CiviPlus can deal with all that. It's all built in. So, for example, I just wrote down a couple of questions. You answered one with the dynamic sort of smart groups. But say the pledge reminders, if you're sending those out, you're sending them out in batches, but are they automated? If through, when you talk about automation, are those emails automated? So you set things up and then they'll trigger at certain points. Is that what you were saying?
Yes, it's like setting up a rule, basically. It's a configuration. So CiviPlus has got everything in there. You just need to configure it, basically. And it may be that you yourself can do that, or you need, we can help you do that. But yes, you basically, if this donation has, or if this pledge, when you record a pledge, it will say that it's pending until it's paid. So you can have a rule set up that any pending payments will get this email,
a certain time frame after.
A certain time frame, like it was recorded on this date and it is pending. So, 30 days after, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, it's just a set of rules, conditions that you can set up to then automatically go out. So they're not going out in big batches. They're going out
when they meet
the right
meet the criteria. So it's all triggers and that kind of fun logic based stuff. So yeah, you've got to have a mind to kind of do that stuff. Or as Louise says, you might want some help.
No, that sounds good. I have one very minor question. The direct debit side of things, obviously I'm in Euroland, so you can just connect it. Do you use a payment gateway for that specifically, or?
So we use Stripe as standard with CiviPlus, and then for direct debits we use Go Cardless as well. So I'm I know Stripe supports the euro. I also unsure about Go Cardless, but I would assume it's multi.
I'm pretty sure. But yeah, as long as there's, I can look into that. That's fine. That's no
Yeah.
bother. It's a minor question. That's great. Thanks.
No problem.
Any other questions from anybody? Or
Yeah, Marvin, do you have any from an agency perspective or?
No questions.
No. Okay, we've done a good job then.